Good morning. Welcome to Pagitt Radio, religious radio that's not quite right. Broadcasting here, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. today. Today only. Get it while you can. On sale, the 11 a.m. show. And feel free to pick it up on your radio receiver or over at DougPagittRadio.com. What I mean is that Doug Pagitt Radio will be broadcasting noon to 2, 12 noon to 2 p.m. starting next week, January 9th. So this week, though, we are in the pre-meridian and post-meridian time references, AM and PM. My name is Doug Pagitt. I'm your host for religious radio for the rest of us. I'm going to come up with a few little taglines. We're going to be running some radio spots, some promotional spots here on the AM 950 Juggernaut. And we are coming up with some little sayings that we should use in our advertising slogans. Hey, awfully thrilled to be back. It's January 2nd, 2011. This is our 2011 show, which we're going to have to talk about that later in the second segment. What do we call this?
Okay, yeah.
2011, 2011?
Yeah.
I find myself to be a 2011 guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It feels like 2011. It feels like you're using abbreviations. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. And I just have a thing, against them. So joined here by the co-host, the sidekick, the fill-in, John Music. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm thrilled to be back on the air. We took a week off, and it's like loving people. I don't like taking a week off from it.
For real.
Yeah. I want to be loving all the time. 52 weeks a year, do I want to be a loving, caring person?
Well, maybe that's why my week last week just felt kind of just like off balance. Like there was the equilibrium was all gone because we didn't do a show.
I'm with you. The referential timing was it was gone for me. I didn't know what was going on. First of all, there was Christmas. I had to do religious meetings on extra days, so that threw me off right there. I did one on a Friday night, and it felt like a Sunday, and I didn't know what was going on.
Did you get overtime for that?
And then I had to do it on a Sunday as well, and then I didn't have a radio show, and I was laying around, and the kids were home from college. It's just I want to get back in the flow.
Right. Enough of that religious celebrating over Christmas. Let's get on to real life.
Yeah. Here's what I don't understand: is why at the holidays does it have to ruin everything else that I like to do? Why does Christmas have to ruin everything? You know what I mean? Like, as one who likes my life, and I understand there's a lot of people who all they want is a break from the drudgery that is their work life. I don't necessarily feel that way. So I always feel like the stuff I like to do, I don't get to do.
Yeah, that celebrating Jesus just interferes with
It's not the celebrating Jesus part that gets me. It's the holiday schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't blame poor Jesus for our holiday schedules. He didn't have anything to do with that.
Well, yeah.
And we're also joined by the new guy. In 2011, I think you're going to still keep new guy, it sounds like.
Still the new guy?
Yeah, you're still the new guy. How long does it take? I was mentioning to John on the way in that Glenn is actually, who we refer to as the new guy, the sound engineer, the one who makes the magic happen out there at the board, that he's actually the only radio professional of the three of us.
That's right.
Because Glenn does radio all the time professionally, but we act like you're just you're just the new guy around here. How was your 2-week holiday break from us?
Well, it was. I had 2 weeks off from my real job too, and it's like I was sick for a little bit of that, and it's like nice to be doing stuff again. Actually.
Isn't it nice? Yeah, I mean, there's only so much laying around a fella can do.
Yeah, I mean, I consume mass quantities of chocolate-covered pretzels, and it's like,
You know what I was hoping for, and this is no longer begging for it, as I sort of did through the holiday season, is that we used to have a Christmas party, and we didn't have one this year at our house, and people would bring me chocolate-covered cherries. Top quality chocolate-covered cherries.
Really?
Yes, of which I got none this year.
Oh.
None.
Yeah.
None of it. Zero. I didn't have chocolate cherry mix in my mouth. One time. So, hey, it's a big week for my little work life, though. And when I'm not doing radio here, one of the other things that I do in my life is I'm a pastor of a church called Solomon's Porch in South Minneapolis, which the listeners are welcome to join us anytime you like. I know I don't push the church a lot here.
Yeah. I
don't recruit people over. It's not like it's not like the real estate guys that are always like, hey, it's brought to you by this real estate show. You should hire our services. I don't tend to do that. Which if I had a real estate company, I most certainly would.
Yeah.
But I do pastor this church called Solomon's Porch, and today is our 11-year anniversary. We started 11 years ago. Today.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Made it through 10.
Good job.
In fact, we started on January 2nd, 2000. January 2nd, 2000 was a Sunday. And we started 11 years ago on this same day and date. Yeah. So, it's kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. That's it. I get a whoop whoop, a giggle, and a couple of claps.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's like the crowd of one-handed people clapping for me. Thank you very much. But anyway, it's a big deal for me.
Going strong.
Yeah, and I only bring that up because it's holiday season, but it's also the celebration of another
I thought you were
anniversary.
Hoping for like some chocolate covered cherries there for that.
Well, I might suggest that if, say, someone were going to stop by for the celebration tonight, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock at the corner of Blaisdell and 46th Street in South Minneapolis, 100 West 46th Street, and they wanted to bring a little something.
Yeah, it wouldn't kill him to pick up some chocolate covered cherries on the way.
Yeah, that's right. It wouldn't hurt a guy to come walking in with a box of top quality. I don't want somebody stopping at Walgreens.
No.
Picking up those Walgreens chocolate covered
cellas.
cherries. Yeah. I want those top quality ones that you can only pick up over there at Bayer Lees or Lund's.
Okay.
In the candy aisle. If they were going to do such a thing. Now we refer to this as religious radio that's not quite right. So in 2011, as we're starting out the year, we like to reframe the show. What are we up to? What are we doing around here? What exactly is this show? And I know that many people are listening to it. They're in their cubicles during their workday, and they're listening to the podcast, and they're laughing out loud, and someone pokes their head over the cubicle wall and says to them, "What are you listening to there?" And they have to try to explain it.
Yeah.
Right? Or there's parents who are shushing their children at home right now saying, "Go off and watch one of those PBS TV shows for a while. I have appointment radio to listen to." Or there's somebody riding along in their car with a stranger with them. They're like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this staticky thing that's kind of blaring in and out as we go underneath bridges that we're listening to here? What is this radio programming? And we like to say that it's religious radio, but not in that sort of typical religious way.
Yeah.
We want to talk about religious topics, and we will. Today we're going to be joined by August Berkshire, who it's such a great name. I will get into this with him. I'm just jealous as can be.
Yeah.
I mean, my name is Doug. His name is August Berkshire.
Your first name's a little more than a grunt.
My first name is like some sort of Germanic sound. Like literally every part of my name, Doug, is an unappealing sound. You break it apart, right? Duh.
Yeah.
G.
Yeah.
Just all hard edge. Just August Berkshire is going to be joining us. And August is one of the founders and one of the people who runs the Minnesota Atheist Association.
Yeah.
And they have a radio program on here a couple hours before us. We used to be back to back, but the station, in their wisdom, has decided to separate the Christians and the atheists by this week having a little real estate, and next week and ongoing there'll be a little real estate and some pet playground.
You think it's like the teacher separating the two troubled kids in class?
That's right. One is to sit in the front of the room, one is to sit in the back. No, they're not doing it on purpose. It has nothing to do with our disagreements or agreements on anything of the like. But I like August a lot. He's going to be on the program. He's going to be talking about perspective of religion and atheism and how they work together. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. So we do that. We have him on, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to have people on who are arguing particular religious points. And we like to have religious conversation. We like to have religious talk. We like to talk very directly sometimes about the religious story that's happening in our culture, and I want to advocate for a particular Christian view of the world that is big and inclusive and expanding and has all of God's agenda at hand. So I try to do that throughout the course of the show. But I've realized that many people who talk about religion in public spheres, they're so serious about it all the time.
Oh, yeah. I
mean, I think they want to be on the satellite radio and they want to be on Sirius radio. Thank you very much. And they don't know what that is, right? And I understand that religion is important. I'm a professional religious person. I write books that you can buy over at DougPagitRadio.com. I advocate for religious perspectives in churches. I'm a preacher. I pastor my own church. Like, I'm a professional religious person. I take religion extraordinarily seriously. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that means that you have to be serious about it all the time. So we try to have a little fun, and we try to talk about parenting and about health and about news items. And we want to talk about all of that from a religious perspective without always having religion to be the single point of which we're discussing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think here on the radio program, we're not religious enough.
Oh, really? You think we're irreligious?
Well, I just think that there could be times, mostly when you're talking is what I was thinking of, when maybe we could be a bit more religious in our conversations. No, I'm teasing. It's not when you're talking; it's when I'm talking. But I would like for that to be the case. But I also think that there's only so much religion that people can handle, that people can take if they're not into this stuff.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I'd like to be one of those conversation partners,
right,
with people on the radio, that we can talk about religion. Talk about Christianity in some particular ways. So we always embed two parts in our show. The Cripes Come On, You've Got to Be Kidding Me, which comes at the end of the first hour, which is our little appeal to say things in this world are not always the way they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Let's recognize that and let's make choices to have the world be the way we'd want it to be. That is a religious and Christian call. Now, it's not only owned by religion, and it's not only owned by Christians, but it is our call. And then we end the show with a Right On in the second hour. And the second hour's Right On is always cheering on someone that we think is making the world in the way that it ought to be.
Sure.
And in between those and around those two conversations, we're going to talk about religion pointedly and sidestepping it.
Yeah, so if you're not a religious person, you can relax. This is going to be a good time.
Yeah, that's what we'd like to do. We'd like for religious people to be able to say, that's an enjoyable program. I learned something. I got something out of that. And for those who choose not to engage in religion in any kind of organized fashion, to also be able to say to themselves, hey, I can handle that. I can do that. I can be I'm interested in religion without having to be an adherent to it. We'd love for that to be the case. So if you're one of those people, give us a call over here. If you like this program, if you like that, if you got any advice for us, we'd love to hear it. The first of the year, we're taking input. Taking input on the show. 952-946-6205. Let me tell you, you call in and you give us some good input today, I'll send you one of my books.
Oh, look out.
I'll send you a book for free if I think the input's worthwhile.
Okay.
No, I'll probably send you a book anyway. But you call us at 952-946-6205. We'd love to have your input at the start of the year, the new year on the calendar.
Yes, feels good.
We'd love to have your input. We'd love to have your say here on the radio program. You can also do that online over at DougPagittRadio.com. There's an input button over there. Okay, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the religious implications of this New Year's sort of business. This is Doug Pagitt Radio, religious radio for the rest of us. Religious radio that's not quite right.